Hey there. I'm sorry for the glare in this video, and I'm not gonna kneel the whole time to do this video. But I'm trying to cook, so I'm kind of multitasking while I'm doing this. But I wanted to share with you Arrogant Bastard Ale, and so this is by Stone Brewery, pretty well known. 7.2% alcohol by volume, and I'll tell you a funny story real quick. I bought it because this side was sticking out at the store. And I was like, oh, hey, look, a new Stone Arrogant Bastard ale version. Like, that's super cool. I'm going to buy that. And so I bought it, and I spent, an embarrassing amount of time on the internet yesterday trying to find Forever I May Roam beer details, because I wanted to know, like, what kind of beer is it, what kind, etc. Anyway, and see if there were reviews out there on it. And it kept not coming up. And I was like, clearly this freaking beer is called this thing. And I was looking by images. And anyway, so totally, it's just like the back of the beer bottle, which is cool because it's a cool back of the beer bottle, but not what it's called. So curse you, Whole Foods, for not putting it the right direction. And it's, in fact, Arrogant Bastard Ale. So Stone is pretty well known for their super hoppy ales and their strong ales. I thought this was a cool variation on the bottle. I don't think I've ever seen this specifically before. This is clearly a Metallica reference. So cheers to Metallica. And so this is, in fact, an American strong ale, which means it's a high alcohol content beer. And it's 7.2%, and I don't see the IBUs, which I guess I should have looked up a moment ago. But I didn't, so I failed you. Sorry. Let me see if I can find it real quick. But I feel like Rate Beer and Beer Advocate are annoying more than anything. No information, which means it's not available on their site. So it has some amount of IBUs. But it's hardly... For a beer brand such as Stone, Arrogant Bastard, like, I feel like they have transcended the need to be judged by style. So I pulled up, because I'm a BJCP style kind of person, I pulled up the guide for this particular style, American Strong Ale. But, what am I going to say? Stone's a bad beer? It's really not, even if it's not the style. So maybe they're pushing styles, maybe they're, driving change in the industry, etc. It's hard to know. And so that's really that fine line between the use of a style guide and, where it doesn't apply. So that being said, the American Strong Ale style is ABV between 6.3 and 10%, so clearly this is in the middle of that, and an IBU range of 50 to 100. So it's pretty much in the IPA range. I feel like it's very similar to an American IPA, and Stone beers specifically tend to be very hop forward, but different in that, I don't know. Anyway, stay tuned and find out why they're different. So, based on alcohol content, I poured this into a little bit smaller beer, not a pint glass. Let's take a look at this. Oh, and I'm also, as a disclaimer, I'm cooking Indian food, which is terribly aromatic. And so I apologize if my nose is kind of influenced by that. So anyway, let's smell this. Okay. Deeply malty. Almost has a sweetness to it. Herbally. Smells like curry. Sweet. It has a sweetness to it. As I smell it. Even maybe even bananas. Kind of akin to a spicy Belgian ale. Color-wise, and the light is in your favor from this position. It's this beautiful, almost brown, there's this beautiful mahogany light coming through, and it's pretty cloudy. It's opaque. And it did pour with a nice head. Looks like this head's going to stick around for a while. I think it was more heady when I poured it originally. So I expect that we're going to see a little bit of lacing as I drink this. So flavor. Okay, I have to say, so I was just drinking a Kolsch, and so my palate is not influenced by the beer that I was just drinking. Oh, there it is. I was going to say, this is less harsh than I remember it being. And by harsh, I mean aggressively hop forward. So my initial drink is, oh, this is very malty and balanced and delightful. But the finish, whew, that's a different situation. The finish is very bitter. This is very aggressively hopped, which is expected both in a strong ale, I do believe, and in in a stone beer. Medium high to high hop bitterness. So the malt gives a high sweet impression to the palate, though the finish is expected to be dry and with a high hop flavor. So we're expecting a little bit of fruitiness, a little bit of sweetness, but ultimately this is a hop beer, a hopped beer, and really designed to showcase hops, which it does beautifully. And then these hops are very very bitter. They're not herbal like an English hop. They're not even necessarily citrusy. Or perhaps they are citrusy, but this is in such great volume that it kind of transcends that and becomes this bitter, like a bitters that you would use in cocktails. It's drinkable. It's very drinkable. I feel like this is like a variation on a double IPA ultimately. But still a little bit more hop forward and less balanced than a double IPA might be. I'm not even certain that I can explain why it's not an IPA. I feel like, it's very malty, but so incredibly assertive in the hops that I would characterize it as an IPA, and it might very well be based on alcohol range. Although even a double IPA is a higher alcohol value. This beer is characteristically aggressively hopped. Like, that's really the point in it. And, an arrogant bastard would be gauche, if you will, harsh in its approach. And so it's incredibly appropriate for the brand and what we've come to expect. I feel like by accident entirely, because I drank this Kolsch before dinner was ready, that this beer will actually pair very nicely with the curry that I'm cooking, because it's very malty and mild and gentle up until the finish, and so I feel like that'll pair nicely. Although stay tuned, although I'm not going to remember to remind you. But anyway, we'll find out, because I'm going to eat this curry and drink this beer even if it's not good. Stone. They make some great beers. A lot of really great beers, most of which are aggressively hop forward. I feel like, brewers have this style, both, by virtue of what the brewers enjoy, but also, by virtue of what they're good at doing. And, hop forward, hop aggressive beers are definitely the niche market for Stone, and they do it well. And if you're a hop aficionado, you really like hoppy beers, I really, really, really recommend Stone beers. There's a whole bunch of variations. They're on tour right now, and they're pairing with all of these smaller breweries across the nation, including the Nebraska Brewery in Papillion, Nebraska. Papillion? Papillon? Pardon my non-Nebraskan term. And they're doing these collaborative brewing projects. So there's a lot of fun things that are going to come out of that. And so they were in Nebraska back in the last week of April. And so I'm sure that's available, if not now, then definitely soon. So keep your eye out for that. And check them out, because I feel like, it's, you can almost predict a style out of a brewery. But when there's a collaboration, you get different ingredients, you get, a different take on beers, you get a different palette for what they're looking for, and it makes it this really great exploration. So I recommend checking those out. But here I am, 11 minutes into this video, and you've probably not watched most of it. So if you like Arrogant Bastard Ale, please share with me down below your thoughts about it. And where you're able to find it, so everybody else can find it. I feel like it's pretty widely available, but then again, here I am on the West Coast. So this was out of Whole Foods. You can find it at Trader Joe's. You can find it at Safeway, I think. You can find it at Bevmo. You can find it in a lot of liquor stores that are local, because it's very well distributed here. So check it out. Share with me. I would love to hear your opinion. Thank you for watching, and have a good night.